This is my personal view on how the Middle East is inching toward a broader regional conflict as the situation escalates between Israel, Egypt, and several other key players. What we're seeing right now could trigger a chain reaction, with war fronts expanding across the region. Let's dive into the latest developments and understand what's really at stake. Israel is opening up new fronts on multiple sides, east, north, and now even south, toward Egypt. While Israeli forces continue their operations in Gaza, focusing heavily on the northern city of Jabalia, they're also making incursions into the Golan Heights near Syria. Tensions are rising, and it's not just confined to Israel's borders. There are reports that the U.S. has been urging Israel to wrap up its targeting plans for Iran's military and oil infrastructure. This isn't just a fight for territory, it's a struggle that could soon stretch into the Persian Gulf, drawing in Iran and possibly leading to retaliatory strikes across the region. Is a larger conflict inevitable? Let's explore the implications. The civil war in Sudan adds another layer to this complex regional crisis. Mohammed Hamdan, known as Hemedti, the leader of Sudan's Rapid Support Forces, has been accusing Egypt of backing the Sudanese armed forces. Hemedti claims that Egypt has been providing military aid, including aerial support, to the SAF. The result? Threats of retaliation against Egypt, with targets like the Aswan High Dam in Hemedti's sights. Hemedti's threats against Egypt come at a critical time. His forces have been suffering losses near Khartoum and in Sennar. His rhetoric may be a sign of desperation, but Egypt can't afford to ignore these warnings. So, why is Egypt involved? It goes beyond Sudan. Egypt is also concerned about Ethiopia's influence in the region, especially around the Nile River. The RSF, meanwhile, has been flying Ethiopian flags in some territories, suggesting that these conflicts are interconnected. Hemedti has accused multiple countries of supporting his enemies, from Egypt to Turkey and even Eritrea. But despite his claims, the evidence is shaky. Meanwhile, Israel and the UAE have reportedly been supplying Hemedti's forces with Israeli-made artillery. This raises important questions about how these alliances are playing out behind the scenes. Israel isn't just focused on Gaza or Syria. It's bringing the US into the equation by having them deploy THAAD missile defense systems. The goal seems to be to involve Gulf nations in a potential conflict with Iran. Reports suggest Israel is preparing to strike Iran's oil facilities, and the U.S. military presence is a strong signal that this conflict could soon escalate even further. While all of this unfolds, Gaza is facing a humanitarian disaster. In northern Gaza, particularly in Jabalia, about 400,000 civilians are trapped in a siege. International organizations have issued warnings, but Israel seems set on forcing these populations to migrate. The question is, where will these people go? And will Egypt be drawn into this crisis, especially as Israel looks to offload the humanitarian burden? The UAE has long been a key player in this region, and its involvement with Hemedti is no secret. Israeli-made weapons have found their way into the RSF's hands, thanks to UAE intermediaries. Meanwhile, Ethiopia has been using Hemedti as a counterbalance to Egypt's influence in Sudan and the Horn of Africa. So, where does this all lead? The Middle East is edging closer to a regional conflict that could drag in multiple countries. From Israel's plans to strike Iran, to Egypt's growing concerns in Sudan, and the complex web of alliances involving the UAE and Ethiopia, the stakes are higher than ever. It's clear that this is a dangerous moment in the region's history, and one that could have lasting impacts. What are your thoughts on this situation? Do you think a larger conflict is inevitable? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth analysis. This is Vox Views, and as always, thanks for watching.